Good morning, everybody. This is Cadillac Unscripted, and we've got a special show for you this morning. We have the director of the Cadillac Area Community Foundation with us, Doreen Lanc. Good morning.
Good morning, everyone. I'm happy to be here.
All right. So what are we talking about, Doreen? This lady, listen, she knows what's going on in this town. She's always got so much going on. And if you want to know what's going on or what should be going on, this is the lady that you call. You call Doreen. So tell us what you've got in your hat today.
Oh, the Cadillac Area Community Foundation. It has been the best choice that I've ever made in my life is to go to the Cadillac Area Community Foundation.
Well, we feel fortunate that you took the job. I mean, it's a perfect fit.
Yeah, there's nothing more satisfying than helping people and helping nonprofits and just being aware of all the resources that you can spread to people. This is just an awesome position.
People use you to connect the dots, don't they?
They do. We're kind of a resource for other resources. We collaborate with a lot of community members and partners to make sure whatever the need is that we can find it and we can solve the problem.
Well, and Doreen, I think that donors out there feel very comfortable writing that check to your organization because of your reputation. You've been around a long time. You've got a solid board of directors, critical thinkers, leaders. Can you tell us what's cooking, what's new at the Cadillac Area Community Foundation?
Well, we participated in a few things this summer that I'm really excited about, and one of them was doing small business grants. We do not give to profit agencies, so we have to run it through like Venture North, which is out of Traverse City.
I see.
But I thought that was really interesting. The Cadillac Visitors Bureau and the Misaki Area Community Foundation, that is also under our umbrella. You know, they were like, after I told them, it's like, this is what we need to do. We put money towards it, and we helped, look through grants and stuff. And I think it was very rewarding to do something for the for-profit and the small business that were really struggling through COVID.
I know this is confidential, but can you give us an example of needs that were out there and needs that you met?
We had a person that had called me early on in COVID. She had just bought a business in Cadillac in November, and COVID hit in into February, March. And she was struggling. I mean, she was in bad shape. She was ready to just file, and get it done over with. Yeah, she was like done. So she had called me and she said, "Can you help me?" And I did a lot of research. Actually, she got 2 grants. She got a 10,000 grant and another 5,000 grant, and it saved her business.
Isn't that amazing?
Yes.
So you didn't have a fund at the time, did you? Or did you establish a fund for this very reason?
Not at that time, but I was connected again with all these resources of grants. There was federal grants, there was state grants, there was like Venture North that was given grants. Consumers Energy put a huge amount of money into Wexford and Misaki County for grants. Wow. Even though they didn't come from us, I was capable of finding these grants and sending them out to the small business and say, here, do you know this is available? Because a lot of small business aren't really up on things. They really don't get the newsletters we get. They don't get the alerts that we get for these kind of things. Right. And she was a new business. So this was just, it was an awesome deal for her.
Well, and when we think about it, small business owners are everything. They're the bookkeeper, they're the salesperson, they're paying the utility bill, they're locking the business, they're coming up with a marketing plan. You have to be a jack of all trades to be profitable as a small business owner. So when do you have time? And so I'm just so glad that once again, the Cadillac Area Community Foundation came swooping in. And again, Consumers has been such a friend to Cadillac, but that you could be the conduit to partner people with resources and to save a small business.
Right. And
Wow.
This small business means a lot. And this is how I sold it to the board. This is how I sold it to Misaki and to the Cadillac Visitors Bureau that all collaborated in this is, the economic development. If we don't have a thriving community, and these downtown businesses or Wexford County businesses and Misaki businesses, they're always supporting our nonprofit events.
Right.
We need them. And
Right.
every one of the ones that had received grants, every one of them have donated to community functions. So, we have to look at it in a different direction, but it was a good direction to go.
Right, and they're employing people too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
With independence and financial solvency comes employment. And so I want to make sure that we give a shout out to all of our business owners in the area for staying strong and sticking it through. And again, we see shop local all over, but you got to live it. You got to do it.
You do. They were very thankful, very grateful, the businesses to have this opportunity that came to them. So yeah, that was really rewarding in this position.
Okay, so what else is on the docket? You said
You
you've
know,
done some new things.
Yeah, that was one thing that we did this summer that I was excited about. The other thing is I don't know how many people know about Spark in the Dark. It's in Traverse City, Manistee, Mount Pleasant. Well, we're starting one here in Wexford, Missaukee County. The Community Foundation put up money for it, and so did the Missaukee Community Foundation, along with United Way and the leadership group. There were several other businesses.
Okay.
And it's a platform, a Facebook platform to take care of emergency needs. If someone has a baby and they're out of formula, they can't wait 7 to 10 days.
No.
They need formula now.
Right.
Excuse me.
Same with electrical bills and things like that. People need heat in the winter.
These are immediate solutions, this platform, and I'm really excited to get involved in that.
How does that work? So let's say I had a need. Let's say I had, something was on fire and I didn't have any money. How do I access Spark in the Dark?
It's on Facebook. It will be a Facebook platform.
Okay.
And you can put the message in there. There's screeners. I am going to be one of the screeners. There's 3 in Missaukee County, 3 in Wexford County. And we'll look at the ask and make sure it's legitimate. We'll do a little research to make sure it's not, a gimmick or anything. And then once it is, we'll put it out to this, people that have joined this group. And usually it is solved within 24 hours.
So it might be someone needs help with a wheelchair ramp or something like that. It might not necessarily be financial.
Oh no, this is like baby clothes, or this could be a crib, or it could be it could be my son's looking for a job. It's kind of a resource to help other people. So you kind of join this group knowing that, somebody might move in an apartment and don't have a bed. We'll find them a bed. They don't have sheets or towels. We'll find them sheets and towels. How many things are in our basements that
oh my goodness,
we can give away very easily if we know legitimately somebody needs this. So that's how we do it.
Okay, this is so crazy because this morning I thought, what am I going to do with this great big space heater that I have in my basement? So there you go.
Yep.
Someone might want that.
Yeah,
I'll save it for you.
Yeah. Traverse City is huge into this. And when I went to Mount Pleasant, Manistee, I talked to both of them before we got involved to make sure everything was legit. And it's just, it is like it encourages people that there's people out there that will help you. You don't have to problem solve by yourself.
And struggle. And right, people want to support and they want to help. But sometimes they just don't know how.
There's so many people that do not know how to help. I mean, I have come across some really giving people through the COVID time that just didn't know, how can I help? Where can I donate food? How can I donate clothes? How can I help somebody get to a doctor's appointment or get their vaccine? I mean, people were coming out of the woodwork. It's just awesome
Isn't
to see
that
this.
heartwarming?
It is. It's very heartwarming.
Oh, you're giving me the chills. So in terms of dollar increment, what would the max request to be considered? What would the highest dollar amount that you would be comfortable working with so that folks understand the parameters here?
Well, I'm not sure what our dollar amount's going to look like, but I know Traverse City, they have one of their car dealerships that have a shop that helped get a car fixed, and it was $400 or $500.
Okay.
So hopefully we'll talk to our dealerships and we'll see if they want to participate in this. Sometimes we have, we'll have a fund and people can donate to that if nothing else. And then we can help people get, gas cards or get their car fixed or, find transportation.
Wow.
Those needy things to get to work.
Well, once this launches, we want to have you back on the show and we want to hear some heartwarming stories to share with everybody because I think you're going to see real momentum behind your project.
Yeah, and I know one of the stories that Traverse City shares quite often, and I think it's the nicest thing. A young lady come onto the group and asked for clothes. She had no clothes for her 1-year-old child. And in the meantime, someone donated the 1-year-old child clothes, and she donated her all baby clothes. So she felt like, hey, I'm helping someone else.
Right. Isn't that's special? And I think sometimes you don't realize that you've got something to give too. And maybe it's something like this that jogs your recognition of that.
Yeah, I think that it's going to be a wonderful platform for, Missaukee County and Wexford.
Okay. So it's confidential because they're going to be able to get on through the Facebook page, Spark in the Dark.
Yes.
Then you've got, again, a group that's going to vet and take under consideration the different requests. And then will every single person that requests something get a response of some kind?
They'll get a response.
Okay.
Yes. It might not be the one they want, but
Right.
no, we will respond to them and make sure that, if we can't help them, we're going to send them resources that can help them. Could be 211. It could be United Way. It could be Salvation Army. We're going to find solutions.
Well, you're the right person to be on the committee, I'll tell you. What else is going on at the foundation?
We just got through our scholarship season, and that's always a hard 3 months, but it's so rewarding. We give out $100,000 worth of scholarships this year.
Oh, my goodness.
It was, the kids are so blessed to have these scholarships. We have 2 more scholarships in the works for students. And, college is expensive.
Yes.
Kids really struggle with this. So that is always an exciting time, even though it's tons of work. And reading the essays, some of them are so tear-wrenching, that this child went through this. It's almost like they're telling you their story and no one else knows it. I had a student like 3 years ago in one of the clubs that we have at the Cadillac, the Interact group, Rotary Interact, and I would have never guessed that he was homeless for 6 months. He always had khakis and a nice shirt on until I read his essay when he was a senior graduating, and it was like, how did you hide that?
Right. He was trying to function and get through high school, and at the time he was probably couch surfing and just,
Yep.
oh man. And like you say, you had no idea.
No idea. You would have never. They're always so grateful. And, it's helping a student, with college or books, or it could be living expenses. It's just, what more good can you do?
Exactly. How many? So if you gave out $100,000, how many students received scholarships approximately?
We have 9 different scholarships. So I would say we probably give out about 50 different
my
scholarships.
goodness. Okay.
Yeah, and they weren't just in Cadillac. We do Manton. There's an ISD scholarship. So we go to Manton or Lake City. Cadillac, there's CTC scholarships. We have a scholarship all the way down in Holland that we have here at the Cadillac Foundation.
Isn't that something? So how many applications and essays did you receive?
Oh, probably 90.
Oh my goodness. Who reads through all of those?
We have committees for each one.
Okay.
So there's 9 different committees, but I read every one of them. And a lot of them have an essay or it could be a scholarship for 3 different scholarships. So it could be one student, 3 different scholarships. So once you read it, you read it. But it's always a very interesting time.
What would you say to families that are wondering if they should apply, if it's difficult, what the process looks like? How would you encourage them?
I do encourage the students. And, fortunately, I have 3 youth groups at the school. And all those kids get everything that I can come across as far as scholarships. And I try to go down and talk to the students, the seniors, and make sure that they know they're available. And if they have questions about them, they can call me. My phone goes right to my cell phone, so they can call me anytime after basketball practice, after track, and find out, am I eligible for this? Because, we got to keep them all updated at the school. And I'm going to work with the counselors a little more this year and talk to the students additionally on how to apply, where to apply, because there's different ones out there.
Okay, so tell me about your relationship with high schoolers. You've got a junior foundation, if you will. You've got students running a fund of dollars to help the community too. Can you tell us about that group?
Yes, we call them YAC. They're the Youth Advisory Committee at the high school. They're 9th grade through 12th grade. And they are awesome students. They ask more questions than the big board. I mean,
That's awesome.
They drill everything through and really talk about it and discuss it. They have $25,000 a year, and they spend that on youth activities or programs, or, if there's a school that needs supplies or swing set, stuff like that, something to do with youth. But they also spend money into the community. They, donate money to the White Pine Trail. They talked about it, and they're like, that's where we learned how to bike. I was taught how to bike on the White Pine Trail. So they thought the White Pine Trail is really important to Cadillac. They also donated to the museum, our historic museum. They remembered going there when they were in elementary school and how cool it was to see all this old stuff. So they don't want it to go away. They want every child to have that experience. So they discuss it and, the vote on it. And it's very seldom that we have a negative vote. They're usually grant everything that comes by them.
So are these future leaders, these students?
Oh, definitely. I have just some outstanding students that I work with, and they are just a pleasure to work with. They almost become your kids somehow. But they are, right now, we're doing a garden out to the YMCA, and then we'll donate the vegetables and stuff to the Council on Aging in the Veterans Food Bank.
Yep.
So we're always doing things together. Any of the community service stuff that we do, I'm always there. So they're very good. They're in real life. They have the mentality to really think about what's going on in our future and how can we help these students. Right now, we have a committee that we're putting together. Our first meeting is July 28th, and it is Students Against Drugs. It's through the Safe and Health Coalition of Cadillac. And we have kids from Manton, and we have Northern Christian, and we have Cadillac, and we meet once a month, and we talk about what we can do to make a difference in their high schools.
Amazing. That's giving me the chills too, knowing that these kids have so much going on as they apply for college, as they think about their future, as they get into their final exams, but they care about Cadillac and they care about one another.
They do.
Yeah.
They care about what's going on. They care about their community. They're very focused on community service. They love going out and help and seeing other people and being with adults. They love going to Rotary and talking about what they're doing. They're just, they're outstanding kids.
I happen to know, because I have a child that worked with you, that you make it fun. What do you do to make it fun? Because they keep coming back for more.
Well, I let them make their own decisions, that's for sure.
Okay.
I am there to take notes and make sure everything runs smooth, but it's their decision of how they spend that money and what they grant to and what they don't grant to. I do not persuade them one way or another. They run it. They're leaders in this organization, and they take it very seriously.
You've empowered them, Doreen.
Yes.
You've
Yes.
empowered them. We're going to be back with more of Cadillac Unscripted right after this, sponsored by Independent Bank. Okay. And we're back with the Cadillac Area Community Foundation Director, Doreen Lanc. She's one of Cadillac's queen bees, and she gets things done. So what else? We talked about students. We talked about Spark in the Dark. We talked about scholarships. What? And I mean, not like you need to be doing not one more thing, but I know you can't say no. What else is going on?
Well, I was very passionate about a couple other things. We did a leadership learning lab 3 years ago. Our third year just ended, and about 16 nonprofit community leaders, executive directors went through this lab. It was a 9-month program.
Okay.
It's how to work with your boards, how to work with other nonprofits. It's how time management. And I have had just raving reviews how good it is. We are looking to do another grant to try to do this again for their 3 more years, but it's everybody that's went through it in the Cadillac area, in the Misaki area, have come back to me and said, I have learned so much. And they have this relationship with this class that they can rely on, and they can support each other when there's issues, when there's successes.
Okay, so is this an institute? Is this going to classes live?
They were live for 2 years until COVID, and then it was done over Zoom.
Okay, very good. But this gave everybody more tools for their toolbox.
It did. When you go into an executive director position or a manager at a nonprofit, there's a lot of rules and regulations, IRS. You have to know all this stuff. And working with other people, nonprofit's a little different, than a business. So these are all things to learn how to, work with your staff. How to, schedule things, meetings that you go to. It's a real interesting class, and it's all education. They're learning every time. They go once a month, and they're just learning how to deal with the nonprofit world.
Wow. Is it easier to be a business person in the for-profit world and go into the nonprofit world, or is it easier to be in the nonprofit world and go into the for-profit world?
Oh, I don't know. I've kind of done both.
Okay.
I think the experiences that I brought into it definitely were an advantage to me.
Having been a businesswoman.
Yes.
I think so too. Right. Yeah, and we've always had good collaboration among our nonprofits here in Cadillac, and in other communities you can see some competition. And I've just been so impressed with our leaders that they kind of everybody leaves their ego at the door. And
Mhm.
how can we work together? And how can we help one another? And how can we not duplicate effort too?
I totally agree with that. I sit on a committee with 11 other foundations in northern Michigan, and I hear things. They talk about other nonprofits, or we just don't work together or something. And I'll mention how well we work with Pat Goggin from United Way. I think we talk at least a couple times a week.
Hmm.
Habitat, all these, Oasis,
The
every one
why.
of these, the YMCA. I mean, we're constantly, if things are coming up and I find things or they find things, we're constantly communicating to each other.
Because it's about making the community a better place. And it takes all of you guys to do
It
that.
does. I want to know what they offer for resources for people that call me, and they want to know what I do to make sure that they have the resources to help their clients.
Absolutely. I love asking nonprofits this question. If money were no object, where would you take the Cadillac Area Community Foundation?
Well, the dream is I have a building in mind.
Oh my God, of course you do. I knew it wasn't going to be little.
Yeah, I have a building in town that I really want to purchase, but that might be a future thing.
Okay.
I think we do a really good job. I mean,
I do too.
our gains have been excellent. We went from 7 million 5.5 years ago to 16 million.
My goodness.
Now it's just over 16 million.
Okay, so wait a minute now. Is that organic growth? Is that additional donations combination?
That's combination.
Okay,
Yes.
awesome.
Yeah,
Noel.
we've had really good gains. We had really good growth, and we had donations. We had bequests, and that is the one thing that we want to be more out there, more exposure of what we do, so people, hey, I'm going to leave this in my will. It could be $5,000, it could be $10,000, it could be 250, but I'm going to leave it. I'm going to leave it to a fund at the community foundation because I know it's going to be there forever.
Okay, so can you talk about endowed funds for folks that don't understand how the foundation works? Can you explain the endowment piece?
Yeah, when we have a client come to us, it could be what they're passionate about. We talk about all our funds and where they want to put their money, and then we use 5% of that year. That is our spending policy right now. The rest of it is completely endowed forever, so it's not ever going to go away. If the market goes down, yeah, we're probably going to take a little bit of loss, but we've done so well over the last 5-10 years that it's probably not going to hurt us. And then that money's there every year to help our community. It could be for women and children. It could be for housing. There's all kinds of things. Our Veterans Fund went to over $100,000 in the last few years, which that was our goal to hit 100,000. But now we're over that. So 5% of that money comes back to use for veterans' needs. And that's a huge passion of mine, the veterans. I work very close with the veteran agencies in Wexford County. And if I can't figure out what we can do and the committee says, that's really not an emergency need, I can have resources to find them other options. So our
I think
veterans...
that's a touchstone for you. I think you've got personal relationships with veterans who rely on you.
Yes, yeah. I have to make a veteran call this afternoon. But yeah, the veterans do. It's really hard for them because a lot of them have, issues. They might have mental issues, or they're still, have a lot of things going on. So they come in, they talk, we sort it out. Like I said, if we can't do it through our Veterans Fund, I go to the Wexford County Veterans Fund or Salvation Army or Love Inc. I make sure that those that served are taken care of.
Where does all this energy come from? I mean, seriously, you don't even need notes. I mean, you know what's going on, you know what needs to go on. Where does it come from?
I don't know. I'm just a high-strung person, and I drink decaf.
Well, your little mark on your foot there says walk by faith. I mean,
Oh.
I think some of it's founded in faith, don't you?
Yes. Oh, yeah. Walk by faith. Yes. That is very near and dear to my heart. And, I think helping people is just I'm so passionate about it. You know,
You're so good at it.
yeah, we have the Imagination Library for little kids. We have the Women's Giving Circle for women and girls. We have the Veterans Fund for veterans. There's just, we have so many funds to help people for senior citizens. It's just the support group that I have that I'm able to give to others through
Right.
the foundation.
It's momentum. Tell me about your beautiful daughter, Ashley. She gets dragged into some of this stuff, doesn't she?
She does, yeah.
Is she a willing volunteer? Does she put a smile on her face?
Oh yeah, she always does. I had a veteran that didn't have a vehicle, and he lives in Manton, and I needed the forms, I needed a driver's license, all that stuff, and so. She came into work one day and I said, "Hey, will you run to Manton?" Not even thinking I was sending my daughter to this home that I do not know this person at all. But he's a veteran. How
Right.
bad can it be?
Yep.
So I sent her over there and I said, "Get all his paperwork. He'll meet you at the door. Get all his paperwork, and then take it to the library, make copies of everything, and then take that back and bring it to me." And so, yeah, she gets pulled into a lot of things. We started doing breakfast with Santa a few years ago for the Imagination Library. And last year when we couldn't have it, our hearts were broken because we wanted to do it somehow. But we still had donations, so that was awesome. And this year we're going to do it. We're going to do it at the Cadillac Grill, and we got things going on already. We're really excited about that.
Tell us, if I'm a child and I come to breakfast with Santa, what can I expect on that morning?
We have a really nice breakfast, and then we usually have the libraries. We get the libraries involved 2 years ago, and they do a craft with the kids. So we have 2 or 3 crafts going on. They can take pictures by the Christmas tree with their family, and then we have Santa come, and Santa gives out gifts. And then in the past, we've done a teddy bear raffle. We collect teddy bears all year round when we see them on sale or anything, and then we give away about 30 teddy bears, which we thought, oh my gosh, this is going to be an issue. We're going to have someday a little child that wants one that didn't win one. What are we going to do? We have not had that happen yet.
Excellent.
But this year we have Katy the bear coming out, and he is going to give bears to all the kids. So I'm really excited about this year.
You've done a great job at keeping the price point down. The cost of a ticket is how much?
$5.
Right. And,
Yeah.
the child is going to get entertained. They're going to get their bear. They're going to get, you do some crafts and things
Yeah,
too.
they do crafts to take. They might do the birds to feed the birds, the
right.
pine cones that
Yes.
they put in peanut butter.
The
That's a little
suet and
messy.
yes.
Yeah, but anyways, the kids love it. They come out with peanut butter all over them. But it's, there's a lot of kids that might not have this opportunity, and $5 is, reasonable enough that pays for their breakfast, and they can enjoy themselves and get to see Santa, and it's just a very blessed day.
Wow. What else? I mean, this is plenty. Is there anything else we need to tell everybody about?
We are just busy all the time, and we have people all the time asking us if we can, help out. What can we do? Like, we mentioned before, people want to help.
Yes.
We had a donation this spring, and we didn't know what it was for. He just wrote us a check, and we thought maybe it was for a certain fund or something.
Right.
So his phone number was on the check, so I texted him, and we were just going back and forth, and he just said, and this really brought me to tears, because he said, "Well, Doreen, I heard about what you guys do at the foundation, and I just wanted to give something, so I sent you a check."
Meaning, I trust you, Doreen, and your board to
And
do.
to make good choices.
yeah.
But I just thought it was very nice for someone just out of their heart, just to give money. He'd never given before. He's a young man. So I thought it was just,
But the
awesome.
word gets out in a small community about the good things that you're doing, and people want to be a part of it. They want to somehow, and maybe they can't give a lot of money, but they want to give their time or, help in some way. And I think you're the perfect conduit because you are so open-minded about where there's a will, there's a way. I mean, I don't think you ever say no.
No, we do some pretty unusual things. Walmart called one day, and they had a pallet, 2 pallets filled with hand sanitizer and hand wash. And they're like, "We have so much, we can't send it back. Can you use it?" So my daughter and I took both of our Jeeps down, filled our vehicles twice, and we delivered it to every nonprofit in Wexford, Missaukee County, because I thought they can use it. New Hope
Yes.
Center
Oh,
and
Oasis.
Habitat and Oasis for their shelter. So we just took cases all over the place trying to get rid of it. I think I still have one in the office. Anybody needs it.
Oh my gosh. God is using you in amazing ways.
Yeah,
Doreen.
we have
He
a
is.
truck that comes from Grand Rapids every 2 weeks, and he brings bread and juice and Pepsi products usually. And we load our vehicles up and we fill all the blessing boxes. We take it to Oasis Shelter. We take it to Habitat. It's like just give it away free. And we always take a picture at the blessing boxes and we post it on Facebook, and, it's gone within a couple hours. But those are just things that, we just like to do. I mean, it's just not sitting behind a desk looking at the computer all day.
Right.
It's we're out doing a physical thing to help people.
Do you ever get tired?
Not really.
It's like the Energizer Bunny.
No, I'm refinishing furniture. I'm on this furniture flip thing.
Okay.
And that's like my calm down, no brainer thing.
Right. That and the dogs. The
Oh,
puppies,
my dogs.
Your
Yeah.
babies.
Yeah,
Yes,
my dogs.
Yes. Well, on behalf of the greater Cadillac community, thank you so much for the passion, the kindness, and the love that you bring to this town. We're so lucky to have you, Doreen. Doreen Lanc is the executive director of the Cadillac Area Community Foundation, and to know her is to love her. Join us again for more local chat on Cadillac Unscripted.